Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by Sportsman's Warehouse, the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, and Avery Superstore.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. As again, we roll into our 19th year on the air on ESPN 790 and 92.9 HD FM in Memphis. And for all you folks out in Brownsville, Tennessee on 95.3 FM, and, of course, in Jackson on News Talk 101.5. We're rolling along. This is the second Saturday, which means that John Gordon and Ron Wong are my co-hosts. John is in studio as he prepares to begin another season of Ducks Unlimited TV as he heads to the Dakotas in a couple of weeks, and then on to Ontario and Saskatchewan and all them other places like that. Good morning, John.
Morning, Larry.
Glad to have you with me and prop me up as I try to recover from 58 degrees in Missoula and 45 degrees in Glacier and 94 in Memphis. It has taken its toll. And Ron Wong, of course, is at the American Crappie Trail, big event down on Lake Washita, on Washita River in Monroe, Louisiana. Good morning, Ron.
Good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
I know you can't wait. Yeah, hot. You can't wait for us to talk hunting because you know when hunting season comes, a lot of your friends are off the water and where they ought to be, in the woods.
They should be in the woods.
Yeah.
And having a good time.
Well, I'm going to have a good time because I've got at my ripe old age, as people know, I'm getting into muzzleloader, and it's nowhere near. Hey, it's nowhere like it was when it all started. And I know this guy on the line with us can verify that from where we've gone to in black powder hunting to where we are now is just amazing. And we're really happy to have with us on today's show is Chad Schearer, talking about CVA muzzleloader, BPI, and about all the new toys that they've got for this year, including some really unbelievable accurate guns and scopes and thumb holes and everything else you wanted to talk about. And first of all, good morning, Chad.
Good morning. How are you today?
We're doing great. Chad is a veteran of seminars. I've watched him on YouTube. I've seen his show, Shoot Straight, with his wife, and know that he is a man that has followed the evolution of the black powder firearm. So let's talk.
Absolutely. In fact, we just got back from Africa where we spent 13 days with muzzleloaders over there, and it was amazing. I
wanted to ask you that because we were trying to get Chad and working it out, and he got me a muzzleloader that I'm going to be using this fall come October, and you'll be seeing a lot of that on my webpage and also other outlets. But he told me he couldn't talk for a while. He's going to Africa, and that's from Montana to Africa is even further than Montana to Memphis. I can tell you that. so
I tell you,
let's talk about the evolution. Chad, you've been a part of this sport for a long, long time, and I know CVA has been around since the early 70s. Talk about where we were and where we are now, because, folks, if you go to their website and see these beautiful new firearms, muzzleloader, black powder, whatever you want to call them, they're not only good to use, but they're pretty to watch. So talk about where we are.
I tell you what, it's been exciting. I've been fortunate to hunt on 5 different continents with a muzzleloader and doing that with CVA, and I'm the director of advertising and media relations, and get to spend a lot of time out in the woods with our TV show doing this, and you know, it goes back to the flint locks and the cap locks, and those were great muzzleloaders, but with anything, we're not driving Model T cars anymore except for just the enjoyment of it.
Yeah.
And my uncle has one of them, and just there's a lot of guys that still shoot the flintlock and cap locks, and those are great guns too, and they're a lot of fun. But with today's modern muzzleloaders, it makes it easier. With the pelletized powder, for example, like your IMR White Hots or your 777 powder, they come in pellets. They're pre-measured. It makes it easy. You put those down the barrel. and put a power belt bullet down the barrel. Just make sure you have the right bullet for the type of animals you're hunting. Put your 209 primer in, and you're ready to go. And they have amazing accuracy. The velocities are incredible. And so today we've got different lines of muzzleloaders within CVA. We have a basic price point muzzleloader for that introductory level, that Wolf, which shoots very good.
Yes.
And then you go into the Optima, which is a mid-price point in that $300 price range. And then you go up to the Acura, like you're shooting, which comes with a Bergara barrel on it, a nitride finish, so you're not going to get that rust on your muzzleloader inside or out.
Yes.
It's the most weatherproof gun there is. And then also this year, CVA came out with the new Paramount, which is a 45 caliber muzzleloader that'll shoot over 2,200 feet per second, and it's a long-range muzzleloader. It has a tactical style stock to it, and that's one of the latest and greatest. I shot an antelope in Wyoming last year at 301 yards with it.
Come on.
I've never seen such a flat shooting gun.
Well, we were discussing that off the air with John Gordon of Ducks Unlimited here, who is a duck hunter, of course, and we're talking about.
Well, my son has big sky bird dogs, and we duck hunt a lot up here, John. So we might have to get together. We love the waterfowl, but we're not hunting with muzzleloaders.
I'd love to come up to Montana. I've always wanted to do it. You know, the spring creeks and things like that. It looks like a blast.
Oh yeah.
Well, I drove by a waterfowl haven between the Missoula and Flathead. And there was
and there was where you're at around Ronan.
Yes, that's it, around Ronan, and there was a viewing area we'd pulled off, and there was ducks there. Now, and I'm trying to identify. I'm not the world's greatest duck identifier, but
and they're a little tough right now because they're really haven't really put on their fall plumage yet. They're mostly brown.
Yeah. But they were all over that area. But getting back to what I have, the firearm that I have. And what I really like about CVA, and Chad can jump in on this, is you can get whatever you want in a package, right? I mean, that's a case, the scope. You have an ability to not just shop here, shop there, shop wherever it is. CVA has been one of the leaders in putting together what you need, and I think that's one of y'all's strong points.
Right. We have a situation where we sell guns that have the scopes already attached to them.
Yes.
With the rings and bases. It comes with a case. We call them a scope combo package. And so it has everything you need. All you have to get is your propellants and your projectiles. Yeah. And you're good to go. They're bore-sighted and ready to go for you. And that makes it nice because what's very interesting is for our muzzleloaders, even our Paramount, it doesn't require a Form 4473 like a centerfire rifle.
That's right. Yeah.
So they can ship them through the mail directly to you, and there's a lot of great places to get those guns, and they come right to your house.
Well, it's pretty well. And we're talking to Chad Schearer of CVA, BPI, the great folks that have been around the industry since 1971. And I'm really interested. You mentioned your trip to Africa. You hunted, I'm looking at this thing, New Zealand, Hawaii, Argentina, Alaska, the Arctic. Okay. That's where I felt like I was in Montana there for a couple of days.
Oh, yeah.
But
yes, sir.
Talk about your favorite. What's been a trip to remember for you?
Man, I have many favorites. It's always a favorite when I'm out there with my family, my two boys, Walker and Wyatt. And Walker's running camera now for us and producing our show, and Wyatt's on there with my wife, Marcia. I have many favorite hunts with them. Probably one of my favorite muzzleloader hunts was going to Zimbabwe years ago and hunting Cape buffalo. Oh. And I shot a Cape buffalo as he was charging me, and it was an intense hunt. And then another favorite was this last trip to Africa. Last spring, my good friend Claude Kleinhans, who was a really great PH over there, was killed by a Cape buffalo. And his son invited us back over to do kind of a memorial hunt. And I was able to hunt sable with him, and I took a beautiful sable. But on that whole hunt, it was the experience of having my boys there and having Alec there and remembering his dad. And that's the great thing about hunting with a muzzleloader, hunting with family, is those memories. And that's why I encourage people, get out there. It doesn't matter if you're bow, rifle, muzzleloader, whatever. Get out there with your family, and every day is a gift, is what my wife says. And it just reminds us, hey, we're not sure if we're going to have our friends tomorrow, so enjoy those hunting trips today and do those adventures. And I tell you, Africa is just one of those things that should be on everybody's bucket list.
Do you still get a kick when you elk hunting up in there in your home country and things like that, even though you've been at it a while? Does it?
I've been guiding elk hunters 30 years.
I know it.
And I was out there this morning with Dudley McGarity, who used to be the CEO of CVA, still involved there. Dudley and I shared the sunrise on the mountain this morning. We're watching bull elk, and they're just starting to get right up here. And as soon as we're done with this
you got things
Saturday,
to do. Yeah.
As soon as we're done with this call, I did that early at sunrise, and then we're going to be doing this call and heading out with my boys, and we're going to go chasing those elk.
Well, I tell you what, it's a beautiful place you're in. I recommend it, folks. We had a chance to go through the National Bison Range on our way back to Missoula. I saw animals up close and personal, and living in the wild out there. But, hey, Chad, I look forward to giving you a report on how I do. And, folks, you'll be able to keep up with that. So tell our listeners out there, Chad, where can they go for more information about CVA?
Hey, if they want any information on CVA, they can go to CVA.com. You can also go to ShootStreetTV.com, and it has information. You can message us if you have questions about it. And, of course, if you have any questions getting ready as far as loading them and bullets, and my favorite load for whitetails, go with 150 grains of IMR Whitehots with a 270-grain Power Belt Platinum bullet, and that's my recipe for big whitetails, and I hope everybody has a good season.
All right, buddy. Thank you, Chad. I'll talk to you.
All right. You guys have a great day.
Chad Schearer of the man travels a lot. He travels more than Wong. If we put Wong overseas, we'd never get him back.
He'd never come home.
He'd never come home. All right, now, John, you told me 300 yards.
That's what I said, Larry. It's really incredible that the muzzleloaders are modern rifles. And so the word muzzleloader doesn't mean what it used to.
And so I think black powder and muzzleloader, are interchangeable. But today's, I've kept my Renegade just to look at it and everything like that, and put my patch in and my Buffalo bullet. And
of course,
and sometimes it would click and it wouldn't shoot. And then about 2 seconds later, it would shoot.
There's still a lot of people using the older original style guns.
Yeah, the rendezvous,
right,
and things along that line.
But if you can go with one of these modern rifles, I don't know why you wouldn't.
Well, I am. So let's take a break. Ron Wong's in Monroe, Louisiana. John Gordon is in studio. I'm barely back from Montana, but we're going to talk West Tennessee fur trappers. There are people who still trap, and it is a art that I'm afraid that a lot of young people need to know a lot more about this. So let's take a break and come right back on Outdoors with Larry Ray.